The guns are out. The guns are out. Sun's out, guns out.
Do you ever feel sleepy when you're wearing these?
Yes. But it might just because I'm
Is
so
it starting?
Tired.
No. Today we're going to have Aaron talk about the cupping set and how cupping should be done and both of our preferences within cupping as well. So Aaron, could you please start off?
I mean, since you said it so polite, obviously, yes, I can. So, let me tell you the truth. There's 3 pieces to a cupping set. And you really don't have to have all 3 because
we do not have the proper pieces.
We don't. So normally you would have, what do they even call this bottom part? Tiny pitcher with teeth. So you have a cup that looks like this. Basically, it has to hold at least 100 milliliters of water. Don't ask me what that is in ounces. I don't know. But you have a cup, you have a lid, and then you will generally have a bowl, which we are using this amazing. Is this a tumbler?
That was actually part of a weird water cone that I had that you put on your what do you call it? Nightstand. So it was upside down and acted as a cap, and then when you want watermelon night, you uncap it like this and you pour the tall pitcher of water in the cup.
So it's a cup. It's a cup. So normally the bowl would hold the pitcher and the lid so that it would strain out. And so we're gonna there's still a little bit. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
So we are going to tell you how we kind of do cuppings and how we judge teas, but there is an ISO standard for international cupping, and that would be 100 milliliters of water to 2 grams of tea for 6 minutes. So if you really wanted to do it super legit, you can. I don't do it that way. Jason, how do you do your cuppings?
Usually for us, we have a vessel that's around 200 milliliters, and we put in 5 grams, and we let it steep for 6 minutes.
Right.
And the point of letting it steep for that long to get all the astringency out is to also get a more transparent look at the tea in terms of taste and also aroma, because you want to also look at what the impurities are within the tea.
Yeah. So I think this is a good time to bring up the differences between kind of dry look, dry smell, and then wet look, wet smell, and then you have the aroma of the liquor.
Should we be taking notes?
And absolutely, take notes. So the actual taste of the tea itself, because I think that if you're in tea for long enough, you kind of figure out that what the tea smells like is not what the tea is going to taste like necessarily, which is why I find it so funny when you go to places and they're like, smell the tea, smell the tea. A lot of teas that taste horrible can smell amazing. But do you have anything to add to that? Have you ever had that experience where you're like, oh my god, this tea smells so good, and then you go to taste it and you're like, wow, I wish I just hadn't.
Yeah, I mean the idea is to get a tea that would taste like what it smells. That's the major idea. But as Aaron said, when you start to explore tea around the world, you start to find differences. Like, it could taste completely different from what it smells. Doesn't mean it's a bad tea. It just means it has those qualities and those properties.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the way we do it at Caravan is we do about 100 to 110 milliliters of water to 3 grams of tea for 5 minutes. And then we have a rating scale of 1 to 10 that I probably can't repeat on YouTube, at least for the first 4. So we're going to now do a cupping with you. So we've got some tea here. It's an oolong from Africa.
I'm going to take my shades off for this.
Yeah. So you observe kind of the dry look. We'll give you a close-up. Dry look of the leaf, and then the dry smell.
Mm-hmm. So this is an oolong?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's an oolong.
So I get citrus.
Oh, we're actually doing this. Okay.
I mean, we might as well. You got the notes out. Let's make it happen.
Dried berries, a little bit of smoked wood.
I get more earth than wood.
Probably.
Could be both.
And that's what I love about tea, because it's to everyone's own perception. So she could get earth, I could get wood. Mm-hmm. Who knows who's right? Mainly I'm right, so. Anyways.
Sure, totally, absolutely. Gosh, how could I?
Yeah.
So sorry. All right, so then you put your leaf into your. Well, I'll do it proper. From baseball cup to pitcher. You're welcome. So then you have your boiling water, and this is about 200 milliliters.
That's 200 milliliters.
Yeah, so I'll get almost there.
Nice color so far.
Yeah, it's got a nice color. And we will set it for. Do you want to do 6 or 7 minutes in 200?
Let's do 6.
6 minutos.
Yeah.
So, why don't you talk about a little bit how you grade the tea after you've tasted it?
Yeah, so after you, typically for us, we would have also a porcelain spoon, with the bowl. So what that is once you steep it, you pour your liquid into the bowl. You also have a spoon to kind of absorb the tea, which is mainly for the aroma. So you get the aroma of the tea after it's been steeped, while also observing the color of the tea within the bowl. Not only that, but we also want to judge the tea leaves after it's been steeped. Once it unravels, we can see, figure out how it's been processed, if it's machine cut, if it's hand picked. Usually that shows after it's been steeped.
The way that you judge taste, I think, is a little bit different than the way we judge taste. So do you want to talk about kind of the characteristics you're looking for in a tea? And then I'll...
Yeah, I mean, essentially for us, it's a bit different on the East, at least in Taiwan. We look for astringency, we look for that mouthfeel, we look for dryness within the throat, and that's kind of to describe the sensation of either it being pleasant or not. Also, we look for teas if it soothes our mouth. So going back to mouthfeel, but you can kind of tell the quality of a tea if it totally dries out your tongue and your tongue is like sandpaper versus it's still nice and like pleasant.
Yeah, I think astringency has a couple of different layers, but I definitely think you can have either like a buttery or oily, not oily in a bad way, but like kind of that smooth mouthfeel versus like either a painful astringency or maybe a mild astringency.
Yeah, and there's also the aroma too. I think we also, in Taiwan, we focus on both the aroma and the flavor. Not necessarily they have to be the same, but the farmers try to produce a product where it's got a strong pungent aroma, but at the same time it's got good flavor and long-lasting life within that as well.
Yeah. I think over here we focus a little bit more on the culinary perspective, right? We're looking for certain notes. Yeah. We're looking for certain notes.
It's more earthy.
Oh, just leave. We're looking for particular flavors. I don't think we focus so much on just the aroma. To me, the aroma can be mild or non-existent, but if it tastes really good, if it has either a unique combination of flavors or things like that, those are some of the things that we look for first or that we recognize first. And then we go to, how is the mouth feel? Is it super stringent or is it very smooth? I don't think we don't really do the back of the throat, but we do, is this kind of something that stands out to you? Does it taste like just another, insert type of tea, or does it make you feel a certain way? Kind of more on that spectrum of experience, as opposed to simply, the touch perspective.
Would you say that derives from wine culture?
I think it does a lot more here, especially when you're looking at specialty tea or premium teas, things like that, where people are looking to be able to differentiate between teas and use them for things like pairing, again, in the culinary sense, and as opposed to maybe more, I don't know, how would you say, like, not spiritual, but almost like an emotional experience when you have the tea?
I think it's just self-identifying because when you look at wine, you mention all these notes, these aromas, and it's self-identifying in a way where maybe what you taste or what you smell could remind you of something in your past. So it's a little bit nostalgic, and that's the first thing that comes or goes through your mind.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's important to note that it's different person to person, right? In why you're tasting the teas, in what you enjoy, what you're gonna find out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Jason may like some teas that I think are horrible. Probably not. We have our palates cross over in some ways, but yeah, I think it's kind of fun to find different combinations of tea that you might like. But don't worry if other people don't like it. Just do you.
So now we're back at the 6-minute mark. It's been brewing in there for 6 minutes. Aaron, would you please show us the next steps?
Yes, Jason, I can do this. So this is going to be a little bit messy because this is not going to be the right size, but say love you.
Well, it works. It works.
No.
My nightstand water cup. Isn't
Nightstand
it awesome?
water cup.
Yeah.
I like how you tried to pitch it to me as a, what did you do? As the tower? Like the top of
I broke that part.
Oh.
So now it has the cup. Yeah. So while you're doing that, I'm going to just brew my own tea.
Rude.
Thirsty.
Alright. So, give it a few shakes. Try and get it out of the last of the leaf. Alright. Bam. So then, oh, there's still a lot in there.
It was kind of clogging up the...
Yeah. This one holds just so much more water than I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Okay. And then I'm going to flip it over. Okay. So then, generally, you... oh, thank you.
Welcome.
You are going to want to take a look at the wet leaf. So you flip it over onto its little top. And pray that water doesn't get absolutely everywhere. That was actually pretty smooth. What? I guess that's enough, but I really like the look of this leaf. So, so you'll take a look, and as Jason was mentioning before, you kind of take a look for what's the processing method that was used, what type of leaf pick was used, what other kinds of things, how much oxidization there is on the leaf, depending on what the type is. So for this, you can see it's kind of leaf pieces. Maybe
So they probably
some stem.
They probably cut it even more during processing,
Right.
I would assume.
It looks like it broke as well.
Yeah, so it's probably, my guess is machine picked, and they probably cut it even more to further oxidize it during processing, so that's why you get those uneven cuts.
Right. So I think that they actually just machine process it, because I know that they hand pick this.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
So I think that the reason that it breaks is because this is an oolong and they're trying to semi-oxidize it when they're rolling it or whatever they're doing, it breaks. And then it's been a long travel over here as well, so I'm sure it, also may have broken a little bit more in transport.
Were they going for a more like robust oolong in that case? You just put it on top.
You know what? I don't know.
Because if you look at the
maybe
edges of the
flavor.
leaves, it's kind of like over processed or over oxidated. It's more burnt.
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But then some of it not at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what happened.
Like
here.
if there's a little bit of it, it's fine. But if you see too much, then it's kind of poor processing.
Also depends on what method they used.
That's true.
Things like that. So
I
that's
just
why
think
it's important.
I just think I know it all.
Sure. But that's also why it's important to talk to the farmer sometimes, or talk to your tea person who might know why something is the way it is. So, what do you think the aroma is? Oh, that's nice, actually. You still get that citrus note, which I like a lot, if you haven't noticed. It's got sweet citrus, and then it's definitely got some sort of grassy deal going on.
It's like green beans to me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's
Garden
this,
vegetable?
Yeah. It's like or even spinach or something.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. I agree.
What's that plant where it's like it's got those like different colored leaves on like red stem? What is that called?
On a red stem?
Yeah, it looks like a long piece of lettuce. That's what it reminds me of.
Kale?
No, not kale.
Oh, Charred.
Charred. That smells like chard to me. Like if you saute or boil chard.
I wouldn't know. So I'm just gonna go, sure.
Don't ever make it that way. It sucks.
Okay,
Yeah.
won't do. But anyways, so then you want to do a slurping technique when you go to actually taste the liquor. But first, I always skip this. I like taste it first. I'm like, oh god, I gotta smell it for the aroma. Oh, the aroma to me smells kind of like stale plums. Like it's got a cereal glutinous kind of deal.
It's kind
and
of
then
sweet.
It's sour.
To me, it's a little sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
A
play.
little bit of that honey note in there.
So then you take your awesome porcelain spoon
Let's
and
use
or
these.
bring up. And then I'm gonna slurp real loud. So the purpose of slurping when you taste is to get it to splash all over your taste buds, located all over your mouth.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tally ho.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Sweet, sour. A little bit drying. It's got some astringency on it,
Mm-hmm.
but not horrible.
No.
Do you want more?
Yes.
Right on. Well, that's always a good note.
I was just tasting
if
it.
People want more.
I think I was enjoying it more. Let's look at that again. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be serious. I'll be serious. Yep, I still get a little bit of that honey, more floral, a little bit of lavender there. It's creeping up on me.
Lavender? Put your pinky out.
That's my guess.
Put your
That's my
pinky
guess.
out.
What? That's how they train you sometimes.
To me, it almost tastes like a sour coffee.
Mm-hmm.
If you've had like a sour coffee
Mm-hmm.
bean.
But see,
It's really pleasant, but it's got like a sweet note as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But the
sweet
question is,
cereal.
will that sour note stay there when you steep it normally, as opposed to doing it like this to test it?
Having had it, I can tell you that not really.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of sour, but I think it goes with the astringency.
Mm.
But it's not unpleasant astringency.
No.
So that's another thing. Some people don't like astringency at all. Like you get just a little taste of it, or like that feeling, and people are like, "Nope, I'm out." But there can be other kind of pleasant astringent experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this would be qualified as maybe overbrewed for this tea. But since you do your cuppings always at boiling, c'est la vie.
Mm-hmm. It's actually quite pleasant. It's balanced. I'm getting a sweetness in my mouth that rolls over my tongue. But it's really not too bad. I've had teas where they're super astringent and it just wanted to bite my face off. But this is actually, you could tell when you brew this normally, it's going to be nice and pleasant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say as far as your rating? Would you say it was, how would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How would back of the throat, mouthfeel? What would you say?
Oh.
Like if you were cupping to buy this.
I would say it's got a pretty good mouthfeel. It's not too dry at all, and it's got good body, really good texture. You can tell it's really flavorful. The aroma's there too as well, but it doesn't seem to stay for too long.
No, when it gets cold, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only part.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
I think for us, we would say probably the really nice sour notes come through. Not too much astringency, which means that it's not gonna be super astringent when you don't overboil it.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's kind of a unique for an oolong because you expect more of either a roasted or maybe a more mellow flavor. But it's kind of juicy. Like when I think of this tea, I think of a juicy sort of tea. And then I believe we rated this an 8.
Oh, you gave it like
an
you
8.
gave it like a rating scale?
We have a rating scale for all of the teas we taste so that we can remember. And obviously you have to do it every year because of the, it has a terroir, which means it's absorbing everything around it, the rain, the sun. So teas can change from year to year. But yeah, we use a 1 through 10 because we're really original.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we probably rated this an 8, which is why it's in our catalog.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you have any other finishing comments for tasting?
Nope, I think this is it. If you're going to be cupping black teas, get ready to have your face bitten off. But other than that,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, we will see you next week, and don't forget to put any questions or requests for videos in the comments below. Thanks, guys.